you think I'm doing?
It's a good one over here of a crane with a frog in it.
Wait a minute. You didn't bring a camera, did you? Oh! The first stork singing baby. Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah, the pension is
That
over
cube
there.
up there was the local McDonald's.
Yeah.
And this is Donna's classroom at Snowflake High School in Snowflake, Arizona.
These are the papers I have to grade.
Remember the first time you got videotaped when you came out?
Tell us about your favorite student, Donna.
Okay, my favorite student reminds me of myself when I was No, this is my room and I like my kids. I've been gone the last 2 days, so they probably enjoyed school more than they usually do.
This is a first because Brandon Porter wrote Bon Jovi on his paper
Oh.
instead of Poison, which he has every.
Are they going to, go out and campaign when the bond election takes place?
I don't know, I think they should though.
That's really,
Just trying to appeal to the kids.
yeah, to get one of the games.
I said, the kids said, one kid said, it doesn't even seem like our room anymore. I said, well, it's not, You're here one period of the day, I'm here all day.
Good. That's good. Yeah. They like to put you on a field trip.
Get me right into the video.
And your Icano Hermana. And your other Icano Hermana. Here's the family Gracia, Spanish family. Here's a terrarium, so kids salvage his baby out of. Here's your typical Liverpool boots. And a little balance, you can probably rip off so much of that. Here's a new high-tech substitute babysitter. What else can we tell you?
Your plants are extinguished.
And that's been there all years. Kid yesterday did. Been dying on us. Oh, brother.
Can you give a Lobo's cheer or something? We're rolling!
Hey.
Oh, really? Those numbers don't mean anything to remember. I can't
The one
remember.
with all the yellow and green.
Oh, you can.
And I might. I don't remember what
are you gonna be
number
there?
is.
Judy, what date?
Grandma's gonna get mad at
Because
us, so
we have to
break
get
the
back to
book.
school. Wayne, I think, is going to stay one day longer than the
You know
other.
what I'd
I
have
just
to do
think
if
it's
that bush got broken?
care of it, so I
I'd have
really
to
know.
take it out. Right of the roots.
That's what
Just want to take your calendar.
My
That's
stewardship.
right. Your stewardship.
Well, I don't have it. It's my favorite word.
There's the
What?
Doesn't her toothless friend
No,
live around here?
that's a Jenny bush there.
Andy teeth.
That's a Jenny bush, Jimmy. That's a Brett bush.
I like that guy.
What?
This guy's putting makeup and everything. Nothing would hide those white.
Now, if you grow too fast, if you grow too fast, they'll cut your hook. You know, it's like a bush.
Oh, Ashley had it.
Okay?
I know Ashley had it.
There you go.
I wish I had a picture.
See, now you can come to grandmother's house and be a bush.
Okay, look at the camera.
Sit right there.
Nice.
In the Brett bush.
Okay, the last picture. And Jeff's driving away.
I know.
No,
Goodbye.
Your buddy's
Boy, I won Brett. Anyone that can roll down Brad. I never saw a grassy
Never
slope.
that goofy when his kids were little.
I've never known a grassy slope that I didn't walk over.
I remember you doing that in a park
At Washington Park.
when we were.
Take one more drink. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We had Donna and Steve doing it.
settle on your route by rail
can go down to, I can run you down to Riverside, and then you can change trains at. A couple of blackbirds come to look at you.
Right. You have black spots. You have black spots on your roses. Oh yes, the tiny pink one. Yeah. What about theirs? Or what do you do?
What do you do for it?
Oh,
Spray. You should spray.
You can clear it quite easily with spray. One spray, I don't spray
You
lots.
never get rid of it. You've only got to drop one leaf on the ground and pick it up and it's all back again.
Areas with a lot of pollution are relatively free because if you've got good clean air, you get black spots. There you are. You've got good clean air.
It'll make you feel better, Jen.
Play back. Normally you play back in black and white, but if you buy the section on the top, you get play back in colour.
Very true. I think he uses it sort of professionally.
Well, that's what he said.
That was the idea.
Give a quick one. You can give a quick one through of the scene and play it back to yourself.
And take it back to somebody else to show them.
Yeah. I wouldn't spend that sort of money.
Well, we've
£2,000.
done, kept a pretty good record of all the kids and the grandkids with this. In fact, we finished one we'd started one when we first met Sally up at Tahoe a couple of years ago, and then we finished the role the other night on Allison. So we played it a couple of nights ago.
July 2nd. 3 days away from the anniversary of Mom and Dad's wedding. We're here in the G section.
Of where?
In Van Dam State Park. Wasn't Van Dam a famous
No, seriously, where are we?
We're in Amsterdam.
What camp plots? Okay, we're in Amsterdam Bos, near Schiphol Airport. We had driven from Calais just today.
Did we? Yeah, that's right, we did. Donna got us all messed up again and navigating. Good for nothing, right? I mean, beautiful.
And post-breakfast and lunch, and Jan is preparing a nice multi-course dinner for us.
Worked all day over a hot stove.
Ashley, this is Amsterdam Bos. We have been here multi times.
It's going to be a big Afghan convention. If there's any Afghans who watch this video, we have no malice against them.
Don't get your...
We don't even know that we're going to be famous and they're going to show this video somewhere.
On American TV,
When you run for
We're going to have to
TV,
resign from our view and
for ethnic slurs.
that we got yesterday at the hovercraft place in Calais. It's a brand new car full of goods. Jen and I packed lightly as usual. Invention, a gazebo.
largest cut flower emporium and auction center in the world. And these flowers have been brought in just this morning with trucks coming in from the south side, and then the north side. They go through an auction center, sort of like a stock exchange where you're a member and then you bid on certain flowers, and then the flowers go out the other side and are delivered just within minutes or hours of when they're first delivered. They might be in New York and by this afternoon, or San Francisco by this afternoon. Here, and they're in such tight bud that you can just barely see what they are. So they're probably maybe like 4 to 6 dozen roses in one of those packages, but they hardly look like anything because they're in such tight bud. Pick them very tightly. This, even though this is in the Netherlands, there might be some flowers that go directly from here to probably a broker perhaps in San Francisco, and then to Flowers Etc. or Lee's Flowers or other flowers in Fort Bragg, maybe even by the next day, probably.
geschoven worden, waardoor de koper onder zijn eigen nummer wordt geregistreerd door de computer. Pas dan kan de koper gaan bieden. Op sommige banken zijn telefoons aangebracht. Hiermee kunnen de inkopers op de hoogte blijven van de nationale en internationale marktsituatie en contact houden.
In each hall and in front of each clock, the same sort of products are always auctioned, so that buyers know exactly where they have to be for specific purchases. In each auction hall for cut flowers are 2 clocks. In the auction hall for potted plants and flower nursery products, as many as 4 clocks are used. This auction hall is not on your route, but it can be found in a new wing to the right of the auction complex. The clocks work at the same time and independently of each other. By means of a switch in front of their seat, buyers can key into one or other of the clocks. There is also a buy button, which, when pushed, stops the hand of the clock to indicate a purchase. The auctioneer, sitting under the clock and behind a TV screen, describes to buyers the lots of flowers to be auctioned, giving the name of the grower and the quality rating given by the inspectors. On the clock front are shown important additional details. Assistants attending the carts show which flowers are up for auction. The clock is then started. The auction goes by the famous Dutch auction system, whereby the price demanded descends. The first buyer, therefore, to push his buy button stops the clock, having bid the highest price. The buyer's number automatically appears on the front of the clock, so that the buyer himself is also sure that he has bought the lot. By means of his microphone, he tells the auctioneer how many units of flowers, that is, buckets or dozens, for example, he wishes to buy. The number of units remaining in the cart appears on the front of the clock at the lower left, so that other buyers can see what is still available on this lot. This is also then auctioned. The clock always gives the price per plant or per individual flower. The clock hand points to the price per flower or per plant, enabling you to read off the price on the rim of the clock. Now, not everybody has the to bid at the auction. You must first register at the VBA administration office, where you receive a plastic card coded with the buyer's number. This card must be placed on a special receiver on the bench to allow computer registration. Only then can the buyer bid. Some benches are equipped with telephones, whereby buyers can remain in close contact with both national and international market conditions and major clients. In total, there are several thousand buyers registered at the VBA. They represent every level of the flower and plant business, from the street trader to the wholesaler, from the flower shop to the exporter.
Got a picture with me.
We're in Copenhagen, and today is the 6th of July 1989, and this is the Little Mermaid. We're just getting ready to get a ferry over to the Swedish side, and then we're going to drive to Oslo, Norway.
I bet it's fun to see some of these bigger feet, huh?
Okay, Steve.
Here we are, 3 fat American tourists, hoping they have home delivery McDonald's. Thinking about buying the Little Mermaid, trying to make have a souvenir.
Okay, let's go. What?
Okay, just focus on her.
I
You
have.
tell the story well,
Oh,
right
sure,
here.
okay.
Okay.
Why don't we come over by there?
All right, yeah.
Pick my glasses up, would you please? Just put them in your purse, would you? A minute. Okay, just a minute. Let me. All right.
This is the Little Mermaid that Hans Christian Andersen wrote about, and she, I think the story goes, she rescued a sailor from drowning. She fell in love with him, and so she went to the chief of all the mermaids down under the sea and wanted to be made immortal. And this person said she could be immortal if, but she,
We're now about halfway between Bergen and Oslo. It's 9th of July, 89. We left our camp early this morning from Oslo. Come out here to spend tomorrow in Bergen and go back to Oslo. Let's see. Yesterday we toured the Viking Ship Museum and the Kon-Tiki Museum and also Folk Museum. We saw the State Church, and then we went over to Frogmere Park to see Scott A. Ensign, who wasn't there. So, and then the day before that, we drove up from about halfway between Malmo, Sweden, and Oslo. We had left Copenhagen the day before that, where we toured a brewery and a porcelain shop and didn't partake. So after Bergen, we're going to Oslo, then over to near Stockholm, where we'll take a ferry.
We're in Bergen, Norway. We had driven up yesterday from Oslo, and we're down here on the fish market, the central marketplace along the waterfront of the city. Finland. Today is the 14th of July, and tomorrow we cross the border into the Soviet Union, and we'll be spending about 21 days there. Just before I came right to this point, I took a picture of Steve and Donna and Jan in front of an antique store. Now this is kind of a national shrine, and it's a Lutheran church. And a few minutes ago I took some pictures in one of my favorite spots, and that was the main market here in Helsinki. Before we got to Helsinki, we had spent one night on a Viking ferry from just north of Stockholm to an area about 200 kilometers here from Helsinki. And we had driven across Sweden in a couple of days, and we had driven down from Bergen in Norway.
No, well, a little bit. Do a cannonball if I were you.
I'm just gonna go put the seat first. Hey,
But do a cannonball.
I'll do the dishes the whole rest of the trip if you do a cannonball. You got it! Whoa! Yeah! I'm stuck!
Water at the campground just outside of Helsinki. Donna just jumped in and touched Mung and is scared.
And I have to do the dishes the rest of the trip.
We'll play this back frequently. Let's see, it's 10:30 at night right now, so you can see the power of this great camera Dad got. Tomorrow morning we go into Leningrad, and it's called John. Baby Sally is starting to walk.
Not baby Sally.
I mean baby Allison. Sally's been walking for a few years.
Sally's running.
Yeah. Sally runs, Allison walks.
Ew, you have yuck on your foot. Oh!
Oh.
I'm not getting my feet near that stuff.
Donna.